I'm Tom Baker, this is Chasing Cars, and the electric vehicle news just keeps on coming with the confirmation today that Ford will bring its Mustang Mach-E electric midsize SUV out here to Australia. Now that news confirms a long-rumoured secret because Aussie journos, including Chasing Cars, were offered the chance to drive the Mustang Mach-E in the United States at the end of last year. That was the first indication that Ford was closely considering the Mach-E for our local market. And in fact, Ford says that it will bring 5 electrified vehicles to Australia by the end of 2024. And we're now starting to really understand what that lineup will look like. There will be the Mustang Mach-E, which is set to be released, at least for sales, by the end of 2023. We're not quite sure when customer deliveries will actually begin for the crossover. They've already got the Escape plug-in hybrid midsize SUV for our market, and next week they're introducing the e-Transit electrified van, and the e-Transit Custom is also confirmed for our market. As for the 5th electrified vehicle, well, we're pretty sure it's going to be the plug-in hybrid Ranger, a ute that uses a 2.3 litre turbo petrol that Volkswagen is putting in its Amarok, which shares a platform with the Ranger, plus a plug-in hybrid electric system. How much electric range it will give, we're not really sure, but what I can tell you is all about the Mustang Mach-E. So we're going to get 3 trim grades of the Mustang Mach-E here in Australia. The range will kick off with the Select model, which is an entry-grade model that uses a 70 kilowatt hour usable battery to provide 470 kilometers of range. It's rear-wheel drive with a single rear motor producing 198 kilowatts of power, so it will still offer fairly smart performance and consumption of about 15.1 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. Next up is a longer range rear-wheel drive model called the Mach-E Premium, but it also gets more power on its rear motor. More interesting though is Ford's claim that the Premium will offer 600 kilometers of driving range, which would make it one of the most flexible electric SUVs out here on the Australian market. Last up though is the Mustang Mach-E GT. It's the only Mach-E spec for Australia that picks up an all-wheel drive powertrain, at least for launch, and it offers some pretty significant numbers: 358 kilowatts of power and 860 newton meters of torque. Now, it uses the same 91 kilowatt hour usable battery as the premium grade, but because it's making all that extra power, it's running on much larger wheels, and it's picking up technologies like Ford's MagnaRide adaptive dampers and big performance brakes. The range is lower. Ford says it'll deliver about 490 kilometers of driving range. That's consumption of about 18.5 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. So those are the 3 trim grades that will come to Australia, at least at first. If you look at the US offering for the Mach-E, they've got way more trim grades, and a lot of the cars have options of adding all-wheel drive or keeping rear-wheel drive. We could see that out here in Australia in future. Now, we don't know yet how many Mach-E's Ford will send to Australia. Now, Tesla is probably going to sell something like 20,000 Model Ys out here in 2023. Now, supply has been really bad for Tesla rivals in Australia. That's why Tesla is able to capture such a huge slice of the EV market locally. So we're quizzing Ford about how many of these cars they were actually going to get in 2023 and 2024. But we do know some of the other standard features for the Mustang Mach-E in Australia. All local Mach-E's will have a panoramic sunroof as standard, and Ford says that the cars will also have a 15.5-inch central touchscreen plus a 10.2-inch slimline driver's digital display, and also a 10-speaker B&O premium stereo system plus wireless charging. Lastly, we're not sure yet where Ford will source Australian Mustang Mach-E's from. It builds the SUV both in Mexico and China. Australia has advantageous trade deals with both of those countries, so really it could come from either. If I had to bet on it, I'd probably say China. That's where Australia gets Tesla Model 3, Tesla Model Y, and Polestar 2, but we'll just have to wait and see what decision Ford makes in that regard. So that's what we know about the Mach-E. It's coming to Australia. That's locked in. Ford's going to open customer reservations soon through its website. It'll assign you to a dealer. As to where the customer deliveries in Australia will start before the end of the year is still an open question, but we hope to have more for you on that topic soon. So very keen to know your opinion. Are you looking forward to the Mustang Mach-E coming here? Let me know all your thoughts down below the video in the comments area. While you're there, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, and as always, thanks for watching Chasing Cars.